just days away from the SRC election here at the University of Pretoria, what many have described will be the most competitive SRC election to date. We've decided to call upon a couple of candidates from each portfolio to battle it out in a debate and all vie for your vote. This will be the last chance that they'll be able to do so, so it's definitely important to keep watching. Good morning, I'm your host, Thrive25, and I'll be facilitating this debate and this SRC election debate for the portfolio Postgraduate and International Student Affairs powered by MCA, Elections Management and Consulting Agency for Africa. Allow me to introduce our candidates for this debate. On the far left, we have Guche Aksoy. Next to her, we have Sabelo Mahlangu. And next to him, we have Mangoba Kuhlose. These are our candidates for this portfolio. And a few ground rules before we begin this debate. Firstly, please ensure that you're respectful at all times. Throughout this debate, ensure that there's no discrimination of any kind, as this will not be tolerated. A question will be asked to each and every one of you, of which you'll have an opportunity to respond to that question, and then your fellow candidates will get to respond to what you have said as a response to that question as well. For time reasons, please try to keep your arguments as concise as possible, and let's try our best not to interrupt each other, as we'll all have a chance to speak. Most importantly, let's have fun, let's keep it very respectful, and let's keep it incredibly demure as well. Let's get started. I'm going to start with you, Kwiche. You know, international students often face a lot of challenges, unique challenges, including visa complexities and a couple of other challenges that they often face that are very unique to them as international students. I want to know from you, how will you, specifically address these issues and allow for a unique and supportive environment that facilitates the academic success and overall well-being at the University of Pretoria?
Thank you for the question. As an international student, I know the unique challenges that we face. The first one is the visa application and renewal process. As I mentioned in my manifesto, I will ensure that the VFS visits on campus are institutionalized so that international students have clear guidance and access to renew their visas on time. Secondly, to ease international students' adjustments in South Africa and at UP, all our campuses should accommodate different cultures. Therefore, I will work with the Facility, Safety and Security portfolio to make sure that external campuses have a halal food and well-maintained praying facilities for all faiths. I will also ensure that the SRC as well as the faculty houses are directly involved in the International Students' Day so that all leadership structures demonstrate appreciation for the variety of cultures on campus. Having a social support network is essential for the success and well-being of all students, especially if you're away from home. That's why the UP International Society, as well as the societies like Eswatini Tax, the Zim Society, the West African Society, are so important. When I'm in the SRC, I will make sure that these societies are introduced to international students during orientation. I will also arrange on-campus embassy information sessions where embassies can meet students from their countries and offer them essential support and guidance.
I'm going to give Sabelo and Mangoba an opportunity to just respond to some of the things that you've said, if they have anything to say at all. I'm going to start with you, Sabelo.
Okay, as a SASCO employee, we believe in collaboration. Firstly, I will collaborate with embassies and postgraduate students division through the Office of the Chancellor and relevant university guidelines. I will work closely with the postgraduate and international student division to partner with embassies. These partnerships will assist students with visa applications and renewals, facilitating access to affordable and renewable medical options, providing orientation sessions for newly arriving international students to adapt academically and socially.
And Mangoba, do you have anything to add?
Yes, as Mangoba Kuhlose, I believe that international students, they do not just study here, they bring global perspective that enriches our university. Yet too often, their journey is made hard by visa backlogs, isolation, and lack of tailored support. I would push for a dedicated one-stop international student desk to fast-track admin issues, mentorship programs that pair local and international students and a stronger multilingual counseling support. When we integrate international students into the heart of campus life, we don't just help them to succeed. We want to make UP a truly global university.
You know, we're going to speak more about international students shortly, but I want us to look at postgraduate affairs, right? Postgraduate research is quite vital here at the University of Pretoria, and it's quite vital for national development as well. However, there's a big issue currently of which postgraduate students experience challenges when it comes to funding and other issues, not just at the University of Pretoria, but at universities as a whole. I want to hear from Sabelo. How would you advocate for policies and support structures that enhance the postgraduate experience by promoting research excellence and addressing systematic issues as well?
Well, again, as a SASCO employee, we believe that everyone must be granted a chance. As for those from disadvantaged backgrounds, because they need the education more. So, as for postgraduate research and skills development, we will develop a week dedicated to annual event featuring workshop on thesis writing and research methods and conference presentation and grant applications, and create an online platform with comprehensive guides on postgraduate applications and funding databases and immigration procedures. An annual feedback forum host the postgraduate and international students in Daba, and where students can directly present their challenges to the SRC and university leadership. Yeah.
I'm going to let Mangoba respond to that as well.
No, thank you for the platform again. Before I would deposit my own submission, I have a question for my candidate that I'm debating with. Most postgraduate students, they do not know the escalation procedures for supervisors that maybe provide them or have lack of academic support for them. So I want to know what valuable solutions that they can bring to the table for escalation procedures for postgraduate. And now, as I submit my submission, I'm inclined to agree with your decisions, because postgraduate research is the engine of national development. But right now, too many postgraduates stall because of funding gaps and accessibility to funding, weak supervision and delayed graduation because of funds and lack of academic support and supervision as well. I would fight for an expanded bursaries through industry partnership, my affiliation as well, mandatory supervision training for quality mentorship and structured research support like writing retreats and progress tracking. Postgraduates must know escalation processes if their supervisors are not offering proper and adequate academic support. If we want to compete globally, we must invest in the postgraduate journey, not just enroll students, but see them through graduation and make an impactful life.
I like the fact that the conversation is developing in terms of looking at escalation. I would like Sabelo and Kudche to respond to that. I think escalation is an important conversation to have. And then after that, I want you to ponder on the issue of funding as well, specifically for international students. But let's pass the mic over to Sabelo as well as Kudche.
Thank you for the question. Regarding supervision and escalation, I have two answers to that question. First of all, I think before we get to escalation, we should ensure that there are clear agreements between supervisors as well as the university and the students regarding what the responsibilities of supervisors are, right? So I've allied with the academic departments to ensure that clear agreements exist between supervisors, students, and the university. These will outline what support comes from supervisors and what services must be provided by the university, ensuring fair expectations and stronger support system for all postgraduate students. And my second answer to that is that every postgraduate student should have easy access to academic support. Therefore, I will liaise with the faculties to make sure that every faculty has at least one dedicated academic success coach specifically for postgraduate students. According to the UP website currently, education and theology faculties don't have any dedicated postgraduate academic success coaches. And EBIT and faculties like EBIT and EMS have only one, which I believe should be increased in correlation in regarding the size of the faculty. So, thank you.
I'd like you to pass the mic to Sabelo to also respond to some of the things that Mangoba said, but also, if you can incorporate in your answer, the issue of funding is a big issue here at the University of Pretoria. We have registration fees that differ, right? An undergrad who's a citizen of South Africa will pay differently to an undergrad who's from outside South Africa. Is that something that you care about? And how is it that you plan to address it, if you plan to address it, if you were elected within this portfolio?
Okay, as a postgraduate student myself, I was faced with many uncertainties during registration. I couldn't register because I couldn't afford the registration, and my NSFAS was depleted since I'm from the township. So to answer the escalation question, I think I answered it in my previous question about featuring workshop and thesis writing and research methods and conference presentation and grant applications. And then in terms of funding is a very important topic close to my heart. And I do care that we are treated as equal as international students and local students, because we are one. So the university must collaborate with debt clearing bursaries in South Africa, partner with debt clearing such as the ETDP, SETA, Funza Lushaga, and Mining Qualifications, MQA, and National Skills Fund to assist students who are struggling with historical debt. These bursaries not only enable postgraduate enrollment, but also open opportunities for continued learning. The SRC will actively promote and guide students in applying for such bursaries, ensuring that no one misses an opportunity due to lack of information, and then will facilitate faculty-level portfolio for postgraduate and international students. Every faculty house must establish a dedicated portfolio for postgraduate and international students as mandated by the Council of Students' Governance Amendment passed in Council in June 2024. This will ensure there's a representative in each faculty focused on.
Mangoba, do you have something to add?
Yes, I do have something to add. I think this funding item is a proper agenda that we should engage more, especially that we are running for postgraduate and international students, which one of the major challenges that they are facing, it is funding. Now, at the core of this, the problem of funding that we are currently facing right now, which I believe from my side is transparency. There's no transparency in the criteria of bursary allocation. For an example, bursaries would say they want a 65% average for you to be eligible to be funded. But you could find out that with that 65% that they've said is the correct criteria, they only accept students with 70% average. So that means there is no transparency criteria of the bursary allocation, which is something that we must put to our students and raise awareness to say that we must advocate for a transparency for criteria to say you want a 65% average. Then if I get that 65%, I must be accepted, because that is the criteria that you have set for us. So it must be a point of holding the bursaries accountable and raising awareness to our students.
And you're speaking about funding and bursaries. I want to link that still with Guche. International students, once again, bringing back the whole registration fee, the fact that it's different for international students in comparison to students who are from South Africa. How is that something that you plan to address? Do you mind passing the mic to Guche?
Thank you. Yeah, that's an issue very close to my heart because I'm an international student and I pay the international levy, which is an extra 4,000, either either 4,050 or 4,500 to the initial registration fee, and I also pay double tuition because I'm not from a SADC country and I'm not a permanent citizen. I'm under a study visa. So definitely the funding for international students is a major concern, and also if you add that to the fact that it's a lot harder for international students to get jobs in South Africa, especially if you're under a study visa, that's also a major issue, right? Because that limits access to funding, and a lot of bursaries and scholarships are mostly reserved for South African students. So I want to combine postgraduate and international funding. So I will ensure that the SRC fundraising initiatives do not only benefit undergrads and South African students, but also help postgrads and international students, especially in the payment of registration fees. To address the funding gap for postgraduate and international students, I will work together with the study finance portfolio to expand UP's partnerships with private companies, securing more bursaries and sponsorships for postgrad and international students. To ease access to private scholarships, I will speak with the relevant departments to invite companies such as MasterCard that sponsor postgrad students to the Postgraduate Information Day so that students can engage with these companies directly. So thank you so much.
Seems like Mangoba has something to counter with that. Mangoba?
I believe that the candidates that I'm debating with here, they are not really answering the question that you are asking. The core of this issue is funding for both international student and postgraduate student. Now, an answer that I would expect, it is maybe we should do a partnership with industry so that we expand our funding pool. That is an answer that I would expect. But they are busy explaining answers that do not really stick to a solution of how we can assist our students to get funding and bursaries. So an answer I would expect is maybe do partnership with industries, corporations to expand our funding, our pool of funding, so that we do not, all of us, in postgraduate and international students, they are fighting for that small pie. We have to expand our funding pool.
Yeah, and it looks like Guche has something to add to that. Do you have a response for Mangoba?
Yeah, if you didn't hear what I just said, I literally just said I will work with the study finance portfolio to expand UP's partnerships. And I added that to ensure easy access to these scholarships, I will invite private companies, for example, MasterCard funds both postgraduate students and international students, right? Like MasterCard, Standard Bank, and other companies to Postgrad Information Day. I don't know if you've ever been to the Postgrad Information Days, but it's usually at the Rotenbach Hall for Humanities at least, where you have these different stalls, but you don't have these private companies to talk about these funding opportunities, right? So I will make sure that I liaise with the relevant departments to invite them to campus so students can engage with the funders directly. So that's my solution.
I see Sabelo's nodding. Sabelo, what do you have to say to that?
No, I think that's an existing thing. So you must come up with new ideas.
Do you have any new ideas?
Do I have any?
Yes.
Any new ideas? Okay. I will try and facilitate and strengthen partnership with relevant stakeholders of the universities, and we'll use funds that the universities reserve funds where the universities put their money. So I will strengthen internal and external funding. So the money that is in the reserves of the universities that does not do anything, it must cover outstanding debt, it must offer students bursaries, postgrad, if they want to pursue that. So there's money in the reserves in this university, billions.
I'd like us to close this topic because I'd like us to move on just a little bit. Anybody have any closing remarks before we move on? Oh, Guche, yeah?
Can I just respond? Yes, the Postgrad Information Day is an existing thing, but what they don't have is these private companies talking about the sponsorships that they offer. So that's the new idea that I'm bringing. Another new idea, if you want a different one, I can say that I will liaise with the Financial Aid Office to make sure that more students can get access to financial aid for postgraduate studies. So,
I'd like you to pass the mic over to Manwoba. I've got a question for you. You know, postgraduate studies is an important thing with any university. Specifically in the University of Pretoria, when we have postgraduate graduates eventually leave the institution, it often brings the reputation of the university to a very high regard, right? And it elevates the reputation of the University of Pretoria. And we know that the global academic landscape is one that's incredibly competitive all across the board. How would you position the University of Pretoria in a place where it's able to attract and retain postgraduate and international talent and showcase the university's research strengths, diverse academic offerings, as well as unique opportunities within this country?
No, I would really like to agree with your statement, what you said. Indeed, a global academic landscape, it is a battlefield for talent. And if the University of Pretoria wants to stand out, we can not only rely on our history, but we must strategically market our strengths and create an ecosystem where students can thrive. Firstly, we need to showcase our research leadership in areas where South Africa is uniquely positioned, such as food security, renewable energy, biodiversity, health science, and social transformation, which is what we are known for as South Africa. These are not just academic topics, they are global crises, and UP should be part of the solution that resonates international. Secondly, to attract and retain top talent, we must create real incentive, which is accessible funding, career pathways in South Africa for postgraduate and support structures that will help students build both academic and professional futures here at UP. This also means positioning UP as a hub of African innovation, a place where students don't just learn and being used as an educational tool, as a commodity, or if I may say. We have this educational system that is used as a commodity that prepares our students to say that in order for, when they get their degrees, in order for them to work, they have to get paid. So we want to do away with these notions of education as a commodity, that the problems of the society should be part of your objectives as attaining this degree. The problems of the society should be part of your objective. You must not wait to get paid in order to help your society.
Sabelo, do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, okay. With that, with graduate unemployment sitting at 24%, the university must create clear pathways for employment through strategic partnership and internships and mentorships and research collaborations with opportunities for postgraduate students. Our research vision as a University of Pretoria must be linked with industry needs so that postgraduate qualification lead to real economic opportunities. And I would encourage students to apply for professional degrees rather than academic degrees, as for those from disadvantaged backgrounds, because they need the education more. It's their last hope.
Guche, you seem to not agree. What's your take on that?
You said I'd encourage students to apply for professional degrees rather than academic degrees. I just wanted to, can you clarify that? What do you think is the difference between an academic and a professional degree?
Professional degrees like LLB, those 4-year degrees where they, after studying, they give you, you have a profession, it's a profession. And then academic degrees is like my degree, BA law, you must add to that thing, maybe do honors and maybe do masters in order to be a professional in that thing. So academic degrees do not really have that value. You need postgrad. That's why even here in the boards, there are billboards here. Apply. They encourage you to apply for postgrad.
I'll allow Mangova to respond, but Kuche, I want to hear your perspective then in terms of how the university or how you will help the university retain its position in terms of attracting postgraduate students to the institution.
Of course. I believe that the best way to attract and retain postgraduate as well as international talent to UP is to make UP more affordable. Therefore, I will advocate for the reduction of registration and tuition fees for both postgraduate and international students. I also believe that our students are UP's best ambassadors. Therefore, I want to make exchange programs more accessible for students. We can increase access to these opportunities through a dedicated ClickUp tab where all exchange and mobility programs are directly shared with students in a timely manner. More talented students abroad means greater international recognition for UP. But I'd like to address something that Sabelo said, which is he thinks it's more valuable to pursue a professional degree. I disagree. I think every student should have because what we always say, education is a right, not a privilege, right? So it's also a right to choose which degree you want to pursue. So every student should have the opportunity to choose whatever they want to study. It's exactly this mindset that professional degrees are more valuable that leads to disparities between the allocation of funding to faculties. For example, EBIT has a lot more funding, as we know, than drama or other creative degrees and other faculties like humanities. So I think students who are doing creative degrees like art and drama should also get enough access to funding opportunities.
Mangova, I want you to close us off. You know, you've just been nodding at some of the things that Gicha was saying. Do you mind elaborating more on that?
No, I'm inclined to agree with the Comrade Exo here. I believe that academic degrees and professional degrees, you must not divorce them because they contribute equally to the society. For an example, a professional degree such as engineering, as I've discussed, not using education as a commodity. If engineering students or post students of engineering, they could come together and maybe come with a solution to fix the roads in rural areas without expecting them to get paid. It should be part of their objectives. And then for academic degrees, such as law students, as he says, it is a law student. As you said, that he's a law student. They could assist. Assist our citizens with legal advice that won't strain them financially, because as you know, we are faced with unemployment in this country, and as we are students right now, we know that when we finish this degree, we're still going to face unemployment issues. So it's so important. Academic degrees are important to the point that they must come and assist students and post students pro bono. So they must assist them in a pro bono solution. We cannot fix this country in just one day. That is the truth.
I'm going to let Sabelo, close us off. This will actually be the last response. Sabelo, you seem to disagree with what Mangova said.
To rebut the answer here of Mangova, I did state that our research vision as a university must be linked with industry needs so that postgraduate qualifications lead to real economic qualification. The reality is a humanities degree right now, it's not a viable choice to pursue. That's the reality.
Unfortunately, we are
The
going to be out of time. I want to give you each an opportunity to just give your parting shot. Why should students at the University of Pretoria, come Wednesday, decide to vote for you within this portfolio? I'm going to start with you, Giche.
I understand the challenges facing both international and postgraduate students because I have lived them, right? From applying for visas, looking for funding for postgrads, and to registering from abroad, right? So, as I outlined in my manifesto and during the debates, I have practical solutions, not just slogans. And to ensure my solutions are feasible, I have already visited the International Cooperation Office, the Postgraduate Scholarship Office, the Career Services to make sure that my solutions are feasible. So, therefore, my track record shows that I don't wait to be elected to act. I'm already doing the work, and I am committed to serving the entire UP community with the same dedication, commitment, and genuine care. So that's why students should vote for me. Thank you.
Sabelo, why should students vote for you on Wednesday?
As a employee of the South African Student Congress, we believe in putting students first. I'm not doing this independently. I am deployed by SASCO. So we believe in putting students first, and we genuinely care about their needs. And we decided to take a firm stance to address key struggles on campus. So vote SASCO, not just for me, but the candidates of SASCO to see real change happening in this campus at the University of Pretoria. Thank you.
And lastly, Mangoba, why should students vote for you on Wednesday?
Students should vote for me because I am an advocate and an activist that will champion the challenges that students face, whether they are doing academic degrees or professional degrees. Ankethi balala muntu. I also believe that assuming this portfolio in the SRC, I believe that it will be a progressive and direct link that will make me a vital bridge between the student and the university administrative. I understand that. I do not need to be an international student in order for me to understand that. I understand that this SRC portfolio or platform, it will be a direct link that will make me be progressive in championing the student issues and the challenges that they face. I'll submarine on that.
Mangoba, Savelo, and Guche, thank you so much for taking time to speak to us and proving your case in terms of why the students should vote for you on Wednesday when we have our SRC election here at the University of Pretoria. A reminder that votes begin on Wednesday, so be sure to stay tuned and stay watching in terms of all the different SRC debates that are set to take place throughout the day and throughout tomorrow as well as key panel discussions that are set to be led by MCA, or the Elections Management Agency of Africa. But thank you so much to our panelists for the portfolio of postgraduate and international studies.
Pata mfundi pata.